Nation! Bienvenidos a Los Hermanos.
This is a Spanish episode now? What?
Welcome to the RSL Bros, everyone.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
I caught you off guard.
Oh, you caught me on my toes there. I like it.
I caught everyone off guard, probably. They're like, what the heck?
Ooh,
Um,
RSL Bros in Espanol.
Los Hermanos RSL. We're just gonna
Oh
keep
my God.
going on this Spanish roll. Um, hey, welcome back.
What's up? How are you doing?
I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, I haven't seen you at all this week. Last time I
Yes,
saw you was Saturday when we watched the game together.
we did watch it. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So I'm kind of speechless. I haven't seen your face so long. I'm like, who are you? Anyways, let's dive into this because there's a lot to go over, and we're always limited on time. Next thing you know, kids are gonna start coming into my space,
They're gonna
and
start climbing on your head.
yeah. So let's I mean, if you can't hear him through my mic yet, you will. So let's get this going because
Let's get this party started because
we
we
have
got a lot to cover
yeah we have a
and
lot
some
to cover.
and exciting news that we'll have to that that I'm excited about towards the end too.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
are you hiding something from me?
No, 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 no.
Okay. So we're gonna go just give everyone a recap so that way you can fast forward if you don't want to watch it, listen to a certain segment. um so we're gonna talk about the RSL Vancouver game. We're gonna
Mhm.
go over all our opinions. We're gonna talk a little bit about the call ups for some of the RSL players. We're gonna go over a little bit of US national team news because we have opinions and we need them voiced because because we're not on Twitter 24/7, so we're not like typing out all our opinions all the time. And then Marcos has a surprise for us, the Marcos
Absolutely.
surprise.
The Marcos surprise. The Marcos surprise. Absolutely.
And then we'll go over the game this weekend. So
Oh, let's do this. Let's
let's
do
do it.
this.
Let's get into this Vancouver game.
Let's get into this. So obviously we had some players that were called up. We had no Beavers, no Luna, no Gomez. So that put a major
The
damper
the
on
the
on,
Luna
on our
the
midfield.
Luna Gomez one definitely put a huge dent in us, and that one was a really tough one to figure out.
But with that, we saw the first start for two RSL players. We see Catranis and Barajas get their first RSL start, which both them were huge in their first debut start.
So, I mean, let's talk about just the pregame. Everyone's been wanting them to start for the past while. Everyone's been wanting Catranis because they're like, oh, we don't want Brody, we don't want Oviedo, we want Catranis. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
whatever. Um, Shoot, and you know what I forgot to do? Speaking of all this, I forgot to listen back again to our last episode to see what if we guessed the right lineup. But I
We were way off because there's
were
no
we?
way there's no way in chance that we put Hidalgo and Brody because I for one I predicted that we'd have Catrani starting. Check, got that right.
Mhm.
But I didn't have Hidalgo and Brody.
But what did I say about the midfield though? I did say something about the midfield.
Yeah, you did say Anelli Ojeda, obviously.
No, but I said something about it's something to the effect of um don't count out Pablo putting in some weird
Oh yeah, oh
change.
yeah, oh yeah. That is true because you really were hung on the fact that you thought Chang was gonna be starting.
Well, I mean, because we put out the poll where I said Barajas Chang, Julio Chang, and Julio Barajas.
I think the major I was kind of confused as to why no Crooks. I think Pablo just wanted to see what other assets that he could use.
I don't think
I
so. I
You don't
think
think
I,
so?
I think it's because he was tweaked.
Yeah, possibly. Well, same thing with Glad because Glad was coming off his injury too.
Well, I mean, he was less tweaked then. I mean, that's my only explanation is why Glad started and
For
Crooks
sure,
didn't.
for sure. But it was something different that we're not accustomed to seeing. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean, what were your thoughts when you saw Hidalgo in that starting lineup? 'Cause, I mean, we saw what a lot of people were thinking. Were like, well, I think what I read the feeling was, all right, this lineup could be good.
yeah. Because when you and we were watching it together, and when it got dropped, you were like, "Oh, this is maybe a five back," because Hidalgo, that's where he's accustomed to playing, is in that right back form. but we didn't see that much at all in this game. He was very much playing in that right midfield, playing up top, running up with Chicho, just right behind Chicho. So it just seemed kind of weird because why would you have Hidalgo when you could have had the likes of Michael Chang?
Someone I was listening to the other day tried to say that this formation was more like a 3-5-2. And I'm like, I was scratching my head like 3-5-2. And they're like, yeah,
Like,
because Brody was like a center back. And I'm like,
then what about Vera and Glad?
well, I mean, because when you play a three black, everyone thinks that those three are like three center backs.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and so I think the thought was Catranis and Hidalgo were like super up as wingers, and then maybe Barajas, Ojeda, and Nelly were kind of like in the middle with Julio and Chicho up top. But it didn't make sense when they mentioned it. And so I really liked the
I was
formation
gonna
that went
say
out.
if that's the case, then I guess RSL uses a three back every game because you see our outside backs moving forward all the time.
I think they only said that because of where Hidalgo was playing, because at least where Fatma put him. If
Yeah.
they put him at the right wing, which means that if he dropped, then it would have been a five back. Which, but if he went forward, and same with Catranis, then it'd be a three back kind of thing.
But your overall thoughts of this lineup? Did you like it? Do you what kind of changes would you have done?
Um, I liked it. I liked it. It was the best lineup we could have put out.
Yeah, for the players that we had missing, it was okay.
From what I heard Pablo saying afterwards, though, it kind of struck me as like a head scratcher because I didn't know this. Apparently, Hidalgo, his natural position is a winger, not a defensive back. And
Okay.
and so when he said that he was playing his natural position, I was thinking to myself, okay, I can understand why he's had so much success on that right side, especially against who was it against Colorado when he was
Hmm.
just running up and down that right side
Yeah.
with Gomez, but during the game, you could see flashes of him having good plays as a winger, but
Definitely.
I just wasn't like convinced that he's like a starter winger.
Yeah, he just seems more what we're accustomed seeing him in that right back form.
Do you prefer him as a right back or a right winger after this game? After seeing him both in both positions?
I would rather see him as a right back, just because I'd rather see someone who's more used to that position, like the likes of Chang or Gomez. So
It's kind of interesting that they didn't use Cheng. In fact, did they use Cheng at all? Yeah, they used him at but like 83rd minute. We'll
yeah.
get into that topic as well with substitutions, but
Mhm.
um, it is interesting that Chang didn't get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, and with obviously the three players that got called up, that means RSL had to go down to the Monarchs. So we got two players. Gozo, obviously they didn't play, but it was nice to see those younger players get called up. Gozo and
Yeah,
Iskandarian.
yeah, Iskandarian, yeah.
So
Not to be confused with
S
Eskandarian. Um, but let's hit up this first half. This first half, um, what were your initial thoughts, if you can remember? I mean, I know it's been a couple of
it
days,
was
but
it's been a hot minute, but yeah, RSL they were controlling much of that first half, but a lot of head scratching. I'm like we couldn't finish any chances. We were having shots on frame, but nothing there at all.
I but I'm gonna take out a positive here because the positive was usually in the first half we have slumps, like huge slumps. We saw in the Colorado game from the 30th minute all the way to the end of the game, it was just a one huge slump. Um,
Yeah,
Usually the first half is kind of our slump half. This one wasn't as slumpy as others, where the possession was 50-50 and we
yeah.
had more total shots. So that means I felt like we were on the front foot a lot of times. I mean, I don't know how did you feel about that first half?
Yeah, like there was some good moments, there were some bad moments, but overall, it was a different first half than we're accustomed to seeing. We were very much in the front foot there, where I was like, we need to be putting one of these in the back of the net, which we weren't.
That was the frustrating part because we had so many opportunities. It felt like we were creating. We felt like we were gelling. In fact, I felt like if my memory serves me right, the first 10, 15 minutes, Barajas was doing really well.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that too. Barajas and Chicho were having that good solid connection, and it was what I expected out of those two. But I don't know if it was just first few minutes jitters, but
Well,
it it was
after
good. It was good afterwards.
well, I was actually gonna say the opposite because after the 15 minutes, Barajas kind of disappeared. You don't see a lot of him, but the attack was coming from the other side, down Hidalgo's side, down Bodie's side, where you had him, you had what I got,
Bro,
yeah,
bro
Brody.
Brody.
So between him and Brody, they were doing a lot of overlaps, a lot of just
Yeah,
running up that right side all the time,
yeah,
which then Nelly would support it. So that right side felt more supported than the left side. And so,
yeah.
I mean,
And
he didn't play
and you
bad, Barajas, but
and you mentioned it when the lineup came out. You're like, oh, Gald and White, they're gonna have a heyday of a time coming down that right side because that's kind of looks like our weaker side, if you will.
it ended up not being our weaker side.
That's true because you look at that left side, it's a lot stronger because you had Catranis and Barajas who have that speed and that awareness.
Yeah, so I wasn't disappointed at all
No,
throughout that
no.
first half. In fact, the my favorite stats. If
Yep.
if you've listened to us for a while, you know my favorite stat. So the passes were better in our favor in terms of not the quantity, but the quality in terms of where the passes were happening. We
Please,
had
where were the passes happening?
you're like just get to the number. I like to. It's a long explanation of where these passes were coming from. Anyways, the passes were in the Vancouver half, the majority of them. So 127 were in Vancouver's half, and 102 were in our own half. In terms of our passes. Now,
And what does that tell us about RSL?
well, it's exactly what we were just saying. That RSL was on the front foot, which on the opposite, and then we're just talking first half right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Vancouver, out of their 280 passes, or yeah, 280 passes, but
Uh-huh.
240 that actually were made,
Mhm.
185 of them were in their own half.
Phew. So they were just kind of hunkering back and then just waiting for that attack with Gald and White and Krylock.
Well, and that's what happened, right?
Yeah, where our defense was, it seemed like they were kind of like ball watching, and Krylock just comes from behind with that beautiful through ball. Um, who was that through ball that was assisted from? Let me scroll back. Yeah, it was assisted by Brian White. That's right. Brian White had that beautiful assist and then slated right to Krylock.
And I'm not blaming anyone on this one. This one, I mean, I guess if you were to blame one person, I think you could blame the communication between Vera and Catranis. Catranis was pretty high up the field when Vancouver started, and so he didn't have a lot of urgency coming back, and there was the miscommunication of who was going to grab Krylock on the run,
Yeah,
because
and you look where that ball was passed from Brian White. He's pretty far out. Just to be able to slot that ball over to Krylock was just very, very nicely done.
I think he had space. That's what I think, because Vera couldn't commit fast enough. Vera was stuck in between. Do I want to stay back? Do I want to commit forward? And so he was
Hmm.
stuck in no man's land, which gave White that space in order to pass it through.
Yeah, and
That's why
it was just an easy one-on-one with the keeper and nothing McMath could do. So just easy goal for Krylock and very, very classy of Krylock to not celebrate. Because what are you going to do when you were literally at this team for so long? Just very classy and respectful of Krylock to not celebrate.
I mean, do we expect less?
No,
I
it's the
mean,
same thing.
it's
Same
Krylock.
same thing that Chicho did when he scored against LAFC.
I expected though Chicho to celebrate just because of all the dirty. I feel like they did him dirty at
Well,
LAFC.
he did this year when he did his Snow Angel. So
Exactly. But I mean, Krylock is a classy guy, classy player. So I mean,
yeah. So
you're not gonna expect him to celebrate.
well, yeah. Of course, I was upset seeing Vancouver score, but seeing Krylock score, I was like, you got to give it to him. Like that was very nicely done. Very nice setup for that amazing goal. So
Yeah. So the first half, when we watched it together, I wasn't upset. I think the only person that was upset was my son because he doesn't understand the context. He's like, what, why, we're losing.
I was just saying, next time we watch a game, we're gonna have to get a video of him because we'll get into a second. But every goal that RSL would score, the little man is taking his shirt off like we just won the World Cup.
I re-
Papá, campeones del mundo.
seriously, he was yelling that we were world champions. I'm like, the heck is wrong with you, kid? Um.
Oh
Anyways,
my goodness.
halftime we get in there down 1-0. Cool. Um, I don't know what was said exactly during halftime, but there's one phrase that I remember from the Hablo con Pablo.
Yes, please, because I missed this segment of Hablo con Pablo this week.
This is this is Alan habla con Hablo con Pablo.
Oh,
There you
this
go.
is different segment.
um, no, the one phrase that we all watched in that segment was
Uh-huh.
if you get one, you get two. So there was some kind of motivation happening in the locker room at halftime where they thought if they could get one, they can get two. Um, and so they came out firing. Now, I'm if I made a huge emphasis like 2 episodes ago about the substitution patterns, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And oh my goodness,
Now, now,
Pablo must not be listening to us at all.
well, stop. What was I telling you during the game?
You said between what you can tell me if I'm wrong, but
Okay.
between like what was the 55th and 70th is the most crucial time to get subs
Now, crucial to get subs if they're needed.
if they're needed. But you and I were talking, and you're like, oh, do you think we need a sub right now? And I'm like, no,
You're leaning towards yes.
okay, I will admit I was leaning towards yes, just because I was like, I don't know. Some of those guys look kind of tired. I feel like maybe a change would be needed here or there. But you're like, no, I think things are gelling quite nicely out there.
Yeah, because if you look at our handy dandy momentum tracker on FOTMob, you could
Yes,
see
yes, yes.
that literally RSL had the whole second half to
And like
themselves.
you look at the number of shots that RSL took that second half, 17. 17 shots in that second half. Like, oh my gosh. I think I haven't looked at the past games of this season, but I think that is the most that we've had in an entire half this season alone. That is crazy.
Yeah. So you can see why when I made my substitution talk a couple episodes ago, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
because we needed it.
Yeah.
And that was against I think it was the Colorado game. Yeah, it was
It was, yeah.
the Colorado game. I was like, we needed subs between 55 and 70. This game, you could feel it. At least I could. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but we didn't need a sub. We
Yeah.
didn't need it
So
in that time.
and speaking of 70th, that's when we see our first goal. We get a the young gun, freaking Fidel Barajas with a beautiful slated ball over to Anderson Julio, who just gets it right past the keeper.
Not gonna lie. The pass was great. I have nothing to say about the pass, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah.
Julio receiving the ball and shooting. Not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna hit the goalkeeper.
Well, if you remember, all of the Vancouver defenders, they at first they're like offside, offside, and I was like, no, he's
That
good,
was perfectly
he's good,
slotted.
he's clean.
Yeah, perfectly timed. You couldn't ask for a better
Like
slotting of passes.
what was better in your opinion, the assist or that finish for that goal?
Um, I think the question should be, is that assist better than Messi's assist against Holland?
Yeah, a little bit of both, a little, but I don't know. Just the awareness for Barajas, just to be able to on, on a dime, like on a platter, beautifully done.
I'm glad that he didn't give up and check out of the game because easily after the end of that first half, he could have checked out. He really could
Well,
have.
Well, if you remember, about 10 minutes prior to us scoring this tying goal, they Vancouver took out Brian White, who had that assist in the first half,
That's
which
right.
when they took out Brian White, I'm like, "Oh, crap," because then they brought in, Ali Ahmad, and I'm like, "Ooh, crap," because all they had was Gald and Krylak, and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna do," because Krylak hasn't really played a full 90 at all this season.
Right. That I think was the turning point because they
Mhm.
lost for me. I don't know. I haven't seen Ahmed play very much, but when they took out White, it almost like their attack kind of shut off a little, and
Yeah,
they're almost going into a reserve mode.
it felt very much of a balloon. They're just deflating that balloon. They had 0 momentum at all. I'm like, "What are you guys doing? You're kinda, like, waving the white flag, just giving up now? All of a sudden, you're playing
Well,
at home."
well, I mean, but at that time of the substitution, they were still up 1-0.
That's true,
Remember,
that's true.
and
That's true.
and then they did two more subs of that, so they did three subs before our first goal.
Yeah, 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 that's why
I just think
it's what you said. You gotta be aware of when to use those substitution patterns.
Yeah, because I think they tried to get ahead of it because they saw that RSL
Mhm.
was getting momentum.
Exactly,
They did. And in fact,
exactly.
that's why the 66th minute when they made their substitution was for a defender, when
Yep.
and also for another midfielder. So they're trying to
Yeah,
add people to their back line to
yeah.
their defensive side.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then right after we score that game tying goal by Julio, then they do another substitution, which they did take out Krylak. I apologize. Krylak did not play 90 minutes. They bring in Levante Johnson, who a different player to come play up top with Gald.
But even then, it says he's a midfielder, so they put him a little bit farther back. So Gald was literally the only guy up there. So it almost like they're playing a 4-5-1 at that point.
Yeah, so it just seemed at that point when we tied the goal, it just seemed as if Vancouver was satisfied with a draw at home because I don't know.
Well, it didn't work because
It
thank
didn't work.
thank
Literally 2 minutes later, you get Barajas over there on the left side corner of the box, and then over to out of all people, Catranis. Catranis is like, keepers off his line. Why not? I'm
Catran has channeled his inner Messi.
right, right.
Legit. I mean, when I put that up on Twitter, the comparison between the two goals, what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
difference?
Similar, like spot on, spot on. Like
And literally in the same exact area.
Catranis was not afraid. He was not afraid. He's like, I'm gonna
He's
do it. Why not?
he's not afraid. In fact, some people would may confuse it with like overconfidence. I feel like he has like Zlatan confidence.
Definitely. I was gonna say definitely talks like Zlatan.
Definitely, definitely. I don't know. I'm a huge fan, and that game winning goal was great. Held out. I don't think we even had to hold out for a win because really there was no attack from Vancouver.
No, no. And at that point, being up 2-1, that was a good time to bring in the subs. I guess you'd call it the garbage minutes. So we brought in at that point we took off Anderson, brought on Chang, Catani's got came off, Oviedo finally came in, Hidalgo came off, Crooks came in, which I wanted him to start, but obviously him with his injury he couldn't, which kind of sucked. So and then Brajas came off, Nelson came on, and then to finish it off, unfortunately, Glad got injured. So that one kind of scared me, and it was kind of like, eek.
Yeah, but luckily we have backups. We have backups. We're fine. I
But
feel fine.
yeah, I was. We'll mention it a little bit more when we get to the St. Louis game. But does that worry you moving forward?
I don't think so because one, we haven't heard anything. At least I haven't heard anything
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from about the injury, how serious it is. So
Well, I guess for me, the fact that Glad he got injured, he came to this game, and then he got re-injured, possibly. I don't know. I don't want it to be like something more serious than it was before.
we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So awesome that RSL got a win in Vancouver. That makes 2 years in a row a win in Vancouver. Can I get a
which
whoop?
which is not easy because
No, that's freaking turf for one.
well, Turf won, and we don't have a good record in Vancouver.
No, no. So
But let's
we've never had a good record in Canada in general.
we might have to ask someone about that. That actually sounds like a really interesting stat.
Yes, but with that, because that, like we mentioned last episode, those were very crucial 3 points that we needed. We jumped up to 5th place in the Western Conference.
Fifth place, tied with like half a dozen teams.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
You look at Portland, LAFC, and us and
Houston
Houston all
and
have.
St. Louis.
Well, no, I'm talking about Portland, LAFC, us, and Houston all tied with goal differential
Oh, tied with
at
goal
plus.
differential, and then St. Louis is actually a 2+ differential, but and 7 points.
Yeah, so gotta love it. Gotta love it. Only 5 games in.
That's crazy. And let's talk a little bit about the absences that we had then. Luna being absent with the U23s, and then Gomez last minute call up with Colombia.
Yeah,
Um, and I just want to mention these ones because Luna didn't get a lot of time, and Gomez
no,
didn't get any time. So
no.
what? How do I want to word this? What are your thoughts on them not getting a lot of minutes and losing out on RSL minutes?
Like, yes, it's upsetting. It's frustrating because those are players that we could have used for Saturday's game. But on the other hand, I like it for the fact that these players are getting, I don't know, I want to say experience, because you look at Colombia's side, the likes of Jaimes and all these other experienced players. Gomez, with him being so young, he's getting that experience to what to improve on for his game.
I can see all of that. Now, I worry a little bit about Luna because Luna last year was a starter for the World Cup team. He comes to the U23 camp, which granted, I understand that there's technically 3 years between the U20s and the U23s. So that means there's a couple more players in between who have been there maybe a year or two longer than Luna.
Mhm.
But seeing him playing, I think 30 minutes or less the
Yeah.
first game. I think less than 30 minutes, maybe have been
Mhm.
20 something. But and then the second game get 0 minutes. Um I worry that maybe he's starting to lose the magic from the youth national teams. I wonder. I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying that I wonder if the
No,
US soccer
no, I see where you're coming from, but I would have to disagree. I feel maybe the coach. I feel like they just wanted to use other assets, other players, but I still think that Luna's gonna still make his get onto the Olympic roster and make a mark come this summer.
Hmm, I think we're gonna have to disagree on this one. I don't know. Only because if this call up was just to see the last couple of players who needs to prove themselves, did has Luna already proven himself and he's already going to be on the team and he's going to be
Yeah.
playing some minutes, or was he one of those that was trying to prove his time and maybe he didn't get the minutes that he needed? I I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I hope this is coming from my bad side. So this is the devil. Here's the devil. I'm hoping that Luna doesn't get called up, so he stays with RSL and plays through Leagues Cup.
Well, you look at the other teams, the number of players that are going to be out for Leagues Cup with other things going on. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, but we'll have to see. We'll have to stay tuned and find out. But I'm still positive. I think Luna will find a place on this roster come Olympic time this summer.
Hmm. Now the other one, Gomez, I think was just a filler. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
I with, with
100%.
the
Like,
with the names that were on that roster for Colombia, like Luis Diaz, like you said, James, um, players like that. I think Mosquera was on there.
Mosqueda was
Players
on there. Yeah,
players that play in Europe and are at a high level. I mean, flip Luis Diaz. He's like, I think he might be, in my opinion, Liverpool's best player right now.
it's true. It's true.
So,
You got Arias, Lerna,
Arias,
Rio.
hmm
Like,
yeah,
that's a deep Colombian team, and just for Gomez, for him being so young, just to get called up, that's just an honor right there. But
yeah.
unfortunately, I don't see Gomez making that roster for Copa America. It would be nice, Obviously,
It'd been nice for him, horrible for us.
horrible for us because you look at because Colombia in the same group as Brazil playing against the likes of Vinicius and some of those other guys, but that's a huge stretch. Not going to happen, unfortunately.
And on top of that, with Copa America, I think if we have any people missing for Copa America, they're gonna miss one, two, three, at least 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot.
So right now, I don't see any of ours, but when it gets closer to Copa America, we'll find out. So
Yeah. So I mean, and let's switch gears just slightly, and we're instead of talking about the youth national team, let's talk about the actual senior men's national team. Um,
yeah,
let's just get past all the results. We'll talk
they,
about how we felt about the games.
yeah.
So the game against Jamaica. What are your thoughts?
Whew. Like they, I was kind of worried for them. I was like, oh my gosh, they are about to lose to Jamaica. Holy crap! But then they get that game tying goal in clutch time, and somehow they sneak away with that victory. But I was nervous for them. I was like, oh my gosh, USA, they're gonna get upset bad.
Now I need you to take off your American fan hat and
My
and take
glasses,
take out take all of it. Take it all. The glasses, the hat off
my
because
Uncle Sam.
your Uncle Sam hat. I I do not think Berhalter is a good coach. Period. Um, Unfortunately, I we see that the players love him, support him, but I think because he's the a player's coach. He's not a coach that manages games.
So I'm gonna say you see him more as I guess like a best friend for the players.
I see him as so how this is gonna be a horrible comparison, but I feel like this is how I see it. When you see a parent and a child, and the parent's like, yeah, they're my best friend, or we treat each other like best friends, and the kid somehow ends up being a little bit spoiled and gets
No, no,
what
I
they want, and then has
for sure.
like ends up behaving badly. I
Hmm.
feel like it's that kind of situation. Horrible probably comparison, but that's how I feel.
No, I would have to agree. Um, I've never been a fan of Berhalter. With this whole thing going on with them firing him and then bringing him back makes zero sense. USA just needs a good manager when that's solely stuck on tactics. You look at all the other managers in England, in Germany, Argentina, even Brazil with them changing managers so many times. All of them are solely focused on tactics and formation and not just like their bond with their players.
I think uh, I think that the bond with the players comes with the confidence in playing style, confidence in tactics. I think we have it reversed here, where they're trying to be buddy buddy with the players and hopefully convince them that what they're trying to implement on the team is good. Whereas
Because
you, you
you look at Argentina. I feel like Scaloni had to earn that bond with Messi over time.
now I'll stop you there because I think Argentina is a bad example because of how mesh the generations have been because of Scaloni and all his technical staff actually played with Messi in the 2006 World Cup.
Okay,
So
okay. Well,
it's a bad combination, but I think Jose Mourinho is a good example.
there you go. Yeah, I was gonna say yes. Scaloni did play with Messi and the other guys, but yeah, if you look at other countries, then that is a good example of that bond and that camaraderie.
Yeah, so Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola for me are absolutely the best. They have their tactics already in their mind how they want to play.
Hmm.
Then they grab the players that fit them, fit that scheme, and then those players gain confidence in the coach. The coach already has his idea. This is what we're gonna do. You have to believe me, and they have to work through it. And I think that's the right way in order to play soccer to have a successful team, not be buddy buddies and then try to convince them that your tactics are good.
Because cool, yes, this team did beat Jamaica. Yes, you guys did win 2-0.
They 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 didn't beat Jamaica. For me, they didn't beat them. But anyways,
And yes, you did beat Mexico 2-0. But did you guys really improve? Did you guys really win on the field? Like, yes, like Tyler Adams had one of the best goals that we've seen in US history. Like, don't get me wrong there. But I feel like this team isn't ready for Copa America this summer. Uruguay, if they were to play them right now, it'd be a cakewalk. Like,
I mean,
So
I can see the US like stepping up, like having that little like shoot themselves up with adrenaline, like, yeah, we're gonna get this, and pull out like a 0-0 draw or like a 1-0 loss and be like, yeah, we're that good kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But historically, they're not gonna survive.
Yeah, with the number of times that we see for friendlies or call-ups that Berhalter and his staff are changing this roster from the A team to the C team, that's not going to help because you look at the other countries, they're so stuck on this is our roster for this. So,
And
well,
and I agree with you there because, for instance, Argentina, they just played El Salvador and Costa Rica.
oh, that was,
Easily, Berhalter would have brought in the C team, been like, yeah, I'm gonna try a whole new roster, try a whole new group of players to see if they deserve a spot in a later tournament or
mhm.
later game. Scaloni, do you know what he did? Do you know how many players he replaced? Like brought in brand new.
Well, on the starting lineup, it was two,
Oh yeah, in the Costa Rica game, yes. So Garnacho started, and
and Benitez.
Walter Benitez, the goalkeeper. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
only did two changes. Everyone else has played on the senior team in the
yeah,
World Cup.
yep.
Um, and he even brought on one other sub that has never played ever. He came from the U23 team. Uh,
Carboni.
yeah,
No,
Carboni. Yep,
Carboni.
yep. And so he brought in Carboni. So he didn't even change that much. He was just trying a couple of different players. That's how it should be. You should be trying a couple different players, not a whole roster of we're gonna try all domestic players. We're gonna try all international players.
Because by doing that, you're gonna lose the play how different players play, the communication, that camaraderie. So I don't know. It's not working. It's not working.
Yeah, and I think that's why the game against Jamaica was just so it was horrible. There's no other word to put it. It was just horrible because there's so many changes happening with the US roster that it just seemed it didn't seem likely that we were gonna play well. But
Yeah. What you gonna do?
whoa,
What are you gonna do? What?
hey Wiz. I feel bad for all of you that think the USA is going to go to the quarterfinals slash semifinals in Copa
Yeah,
America.
for everybody that thinks that USA is gonna be number one in their group in Copa America, you guys need to take a fat check and yeah.
Fat look and see where we're at because right now
Because
we're not in a good place.
honestly, in my opinion, Bolivia, Bolivia could I don't know.
I don't know. That might be a little extreme.
Okay, maybe that'd be a little extreme, but that Uruguay game in Kansas City this summer, keep an eye.
Ojo,
Yeah,
ojo. Anyways,
I'm
um,
just saying.
Marcos, you have a surprise for us.
I do have surprised everybody.
It's not really a surprise,
It's not a
but
surprise. The refs are back, everybody, this week. Can I get a what?
what?
This is awesome. So we don't have to deal with these refs anymore. The I guess the scab refs, if you will.
Yep, the replacement refs.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And
So, who do you have assigned this weekend?
we have um
Fisher.
Fisher. I was thinking Canadian. I was like,
He is Canadian.
all I was thinking in my head is Canadian. Who's Canadian?
Drew Fisher is going to be ours. In fact, Drew Fisher is coming off of reffing
Yeah, in the USA game.
the U.S. Mexico game,
So he is by far one of the most experienced refs. So this is awesome. We have a good crew for Saturday's game.
and not only him, but did you see who AR1 was?
Oh, one of the best AR ones.
One of the best ARs ever to touch U.S. soil. Corey Rockwell.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a
The
good game.
I think I've learned the Corey Crouch.
The Corey crouch. It's a very good crouch. So if any of you,
If you guys are at the game Saturday and you want to know what the Corey Crouch is, look at AR1 who's right in front of the St. Louis bench and just watch when he crouches down and be like, "Oh, that's the Corey Crouch."
yeah, and it's a good thing to implement if you're gonna be reffing. It helps you pay attention. I don't want to get
It
too deep
does.
into it, but
It
it
does.
helps
It
you
does.
pay attention.
But like I said, the refs are finally back this weekend, and in my opinion, everybody, to honor the refs, if you're going to be at the game Saturday, let's just stand and just give a standing ovation for these refs because they had to sit out for about 5 to 6 weeks. So kudos to them for finally being back. And they got the agreement, so it's till 2030.
That's and if you haven't seen the details, head over to my personal page where I put in some screenshots from the Athletic,
Yeah,
whatever the oh my gosh, the article. There we are.
the article.
And
Yeah.
it's a huge increase, which it's a well-deserved increase. Now,
Oh yeah.
just as a quick caveat for those that don't know all the details, this actually only passed with 74%. So it
Ooh,
passed with majority, but from I think from what Corey Rockwell, I listened to an interview that he did, he said the majority that didn't agree with it were the ARs, because
yeah.
the ARs were not given health benefits. They were given a health stipend, which means that they're given a certain amount of money that they're able to spend on healthcare. So
But
they didn't get
uh,
100% of what they wanted.
but all in all, I'm glad that they did come to an agreement that we are able to. The fans will be able to be happy.
The fans will be happy with the quality of refereeing now. In
Yeah,
fact, just seeing, for instance, Drew Fisher do USA Mexico, you could
it
just
makes me.
feel like I felt like comfortable that there was an actual professional out on the field.
Oh yeah, just knowing that we have Drew Fisher reffing this game Saturday just makes me more happy and confident that we're gonna have a good match. Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're you're like hyping up this thing, and all of
I'm
a
I'm
sudden,
like I'm knocking on every wood possible. So
next thing you know, you're gonna be texting me. You're gonna be like, "Hey, what do you think of that play?" Because I think it's, and I'm like, crap.
uh,
That happened. I think that happened once this season already. You're what did you see? I thought it was a handball, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was the one against Colorado where their second goal. You remember that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it looked like a handball, but anyways, yay, refs are back.
Refs are back. Refs are back. But anyway, we have RSL. We are back at the Riot, which I feel like it's been a long time because we had the bye, then we went on the road, so we are back. So 3 weeks. That's right, 3 weeks since we played at home.
Been 3 weeks.
So
There's been three
and
weeks and two Royals games.
that's right. So that's right. But anywho, funny enough, we play St. Louis again, but at our place this time.
Someone was mentioning, I can't remember what I was listening to. They're like, who who did the horrible MLS scheduling that scheduled us the same team like 4 weeks apart? Like, this are two out of the
It, ha-
three games we have to
it
play against
hasn't
them.
it hasn't even been a month, and we're playing the same team again.
This is
So
ridiculous.
lucky for us. But on the plus side, we're gonna have all of our internationals back. So Luna will be back, Beavers will be back, Gomez will be back, and I'm 100% confident that we'll see those two starting because, like we just mentioned, they didn't play at all in their call-ups.
So you think, okay, let's just dive right into what we think the lineup is going to be then. Holy cow, you're like head first.
I'm just ripping off band-aids. Whoosh.
Seriously, all right, let's do this. So, um, lineups. I'm going through the lineups. So
I think we'll see the same. That's if Glad is healthy. I'm gonna put a question mark there. So same back line. So we'll have Catranis, Vera, Glad. I'm gonna go Hidalgo starting on my right back, not Brody.
hmm,
And then I think we're gonna see the likes of Anelli and Ojeda.
okay,
And then the same I think Crooks is back. Crooks is gonna start in that center mid
okay.
with Luna on that left, Gomez on the right, Chicho up top.
You think Barajas then gets put on the bench?
Do you think differently?
I don't know. Let's debate. I mean,
Okay,
what's more reasonable, or what's actually more
because
what's better
yes, I
for
can.
RSL?
Yes, of course. Barajas is coming off getting 2 assists. He was crucial in that last game against Vancouver. But I don't know. I want to. I kind of feel like I want to see him come off the bench more. I want to see Luna.
Let me throw this curveball at you real quick.
Okay, okay.
What has Luna done at the beginning of this season that makes it so that you think he keeps his starting position over Barajas?
Man, you're just wanting me to change my mind, aren't you?
I'm just asking the questions here. I'm asking the questions. That's all. You just have to
Asking all the
answer.
questions. Asking all the questions.
Excuses?
You make a great point, but
Okay,
I'm
tell,
gonna
tell
I'm
me,
gonna
tell me Luna's stats right now, goals and assists as the season stands right now.
the big
Okay,
goose egg in
okay,
honor of
now,
Easter.
now, goose egg on Easter.
Oh my
What?
god, it's a big Easter egg, big
Eh,
Easter egg.
sure. Now, what does Luna do in his play that is different from Barajas that makes it so that he's a starter over Barajas? What does Luna bring that Barajas doesn't?
That's a good question.
I mean,
You know,
go like try be nitpicky if you need to.
you know, I can think of more of what Barajas brings than instead.
Like I can maybe try. I'll try to be on in the Luna camp.
Okay,
Luna
okay.
brings experience.
Oh yeah, of
Luna
not
brings.
not by much.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Let's try to figure out stuff for
Like
Luna, like
Luna brings.
experience. He brings maybe calmness to like in possession because of his ball handling skills. Maybe
I was gonna say
more than Barajas.
he doesn't bring the speed because Barajas brings that speed. Barajas isn't afraid to take shots on goal. He's a very aware of key passes as well.
I mean, Barajas has hit the post and the bar more than Luna has this season. I think. I mean,
Yeah, Barajas hit the post twice last game.
I'm now gonna dive into is this even a stat? Can I look up how many shots Luna has taken this whole season?
I think you have to go game by game.
Shots details. Oh no, I have all the shots that he's taken in this season. Four
How,
shots.
4 shots? Oh shoot!
Four shots compared to a Barajas. Um, how many shots has he taken so far? Stats.
I feel like he had just 4 alone
Three.
last game.
He has had 3 shots.
Oh, 3 shots. Okay, so in your opinion, from what the performance that we saw from Barajas last game, do you think Barajas has earned his starting role for RSL?
I think he deserves another starting chance. I think that if we start him again, I think it would be for Luna and you'd leave Gomez on the right side. Imagine
Yeah,
having Barajas and Gomez on the wings
and
with with
Chicho.
with Chicho and then Crooks. Now, here's the big caveat. Here's the big if.
Yeah,
Um if Crooks is not ready to play on Saturday, you will see Luna in that 10 spot.
yeah, because who else?
I mean, who else? I think Saturday, if the lineup was what it would look like, it
I was
was
gonna say
Chicho.
that. I was gonna say if all fails, then we have Julio, which did have that start as well.
Well, Chicho was the top, and then sorry, yeah, Julio was up top. Chicho was the 10. So even though FOTMOB shows a 4-4-2, I think it was a 4-2-3-1 still. Um, I don't know. Does that end the Luna Barajas debate for
For
you?
now, for now, for now, for now.
I'm just saying, you come up with all these different reasons for either one, and you're gonna realize that it's like I think it's almost like one and the same.
Yeah, because you and I were both hesitant about Luna when he joined the MLS, and then we kind of saw that breakout season that Luna had towards the end of last season and then into the playoffs. So we'll see if it's very similar that what Baracas does as well. But our opponent for Saturday, St. Louis, like we mentioned, we've played them already. We beat them at their place. Now they're playing here. St. Louis, their last game, they nearly lost to DC United at home. So they had a Klaus late penalty in the 70th minute, which tied the game for them. So that was kind of a scary one for them.
They are on a 3-game draw streak.
Yeah,
Can't win a game. In fact, the only game that they've won so far is against NYCFC, and they aren't the hottest team either.
no.
So, what are you expecting from St. Louis then for this weekend? Because I feel like the St. Louis camp, at least the fans, they're kind of feeling shaky.
Yeah, they're nervous. because they had that obviously that good run last year, winning the West and all of that. So they're kind of wondering, well, where's that same team? What's going on?
Hey, the honeymoon's over.
The honeymoon phase is over.
If for
They
any of you guys that have been married after year one, it just goes back to normal.
I don't know. I've
I
never
know that
experienced
I'm
that.
telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because
Was
I'm
that your plug saying, "Girls, I'm single."
for
Don't
any
turn red.
single
Don't turn
for
red.
any single girls listening still. But anyway, anywho, so Klaus and Lowen, I think all the St. Louis fans are wondering where are they at? Because yes, Klaus scored, but I think they're expecting those two to be on their A game every single time. And we haven't really seen that out of them at all this season.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess you forgot to say Lowen is injured. Same with
That's
Parker.
right. That's right. I forgot about that because I think Lowen is until like mid-April. I
Yep.
think that's what I was reading.
Same with Parker. So, and those two obviously are key. Parker is their main defender,
Yeah,
and
because you look at who St. Louis had to start up top with Klaus. They did Samuel Adederan, and Adederan didn't really wasn't really much up
he
top
didn't
for
he didn't ran. Ah!
exactly. Exactly.
Woo! That was a
Woo!
bad one. That was
I tossed
horrible.
up that softball for you.
And I home runned it, but that was a bad joke.
Uh,
So yeah, didn't Parker get injured in the game against us last game?
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah. So, I think we're gonna expect a different St. Louis team. Um, we're gonna expect an RSL team that is motivated. That I think the
I
Colorado
think
game was a fluke.
coming off of that Vancouver game, which in my opinion was the best game of the season so far.
Oh,
Yeah. Hot take.
I think
Are
I
what
think those who were at the snow game would say different.
hot take. The Vancouver game was the best game of the season because it just showed that how we don't need certain players to get wins. It just shows how deep our bench is. And going into this game on Saturday, I think RSL is going to use that because we know how deep our bench is. We have two key players back, so this is gonna be good. And plus we're back at home. We always do good at home.
I have a feeling that it's prediction time now.
It is prediction time. So, like I said, we are back at home. We have our squad back, Luna and Gomez. St. Louis, they're kind of depleted. They barely snuck away with a draw. RSL, we're gonna get the 3 points plus a shutout. Give me that 1-0 win for
Oh,
RSL.
okay, only 1-0. All right. This Luna Barajas debate is still gonna keep going. And I don't know who's gonna show up on Saturday. But I know that with the lineup that went out on Vancouver, with that motivation, we should have a good lineup coming out this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to be a little bit better than what you think, especially if we put two on Vancouver. Vancouver was undefeated before that game. We
That's
forgot to
true.
mention.
Yep.
But I think this one's going to be at least a 2-0 win for RSL.
I like it. Both guys going for clean sheets. I like it. I like it. Be a good game. Be a good game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Back at the Riot, 7:30 kickoff. So if you guys are there, I will be there. Try to find me. I'll be hanging out at the tailgate prior to the game. Come hang out with me. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
So
do that. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch. Obviously, I have other family duties, but I will be
yeah,
watching, and I always give my sharp opinions afterwards. So
absolutely. So if you guys are not already, head over to the Twitter and the Instagram. I call it yeah. You see what I did there?
the Instagram.
At the RSL Bros, give us a follow there and follow. Come catch us with our fun RSL content there, and then listen to us on the go at Spotify and Apple wherever you guys listen.
Share with a friend, and also give us a good rating if you like what you hear, because we're here to entertain and give our opinions. If you don't like our opinions, well, you know where to put it.
Absolutely. Well, you guys enjoy the weather, spend time with your guys' family, and happy Easter, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Happy Easter.
Okay, take care, guys.
Choo-choo!